The Galactic Academy's crystalline corridors hummed with the usual mid-cycle chatter, a cacophony of clicks, whistles, and translated speech from dozens of species. Grace walked through it all with the casual confidence of someone who had survived worse than academic politics. Her human frame, compact, muscular, built for a gravity well that would crush most of her classmates, drew the usual stares. Ezra caught up to her near the quantum mechanics lab, his longer strides eating up the distance. "You hear about the combat trials?" he asked, falling into step beside her. "Hard to miss," Grace replied, adjusting the strap of her pack. "Every species gets to show off their superior fighting techniques." She made air quotes with her fingers, a gesture that still confused most non-humans. "Vexthor's been talking," Ezra warned. Grace's jaw tightened. Vexthor, a Crocanian standing nearly 8 feet tall with 4 arms and an exoskeleton that could deflect small arms fire. He'd been making comments about humans since orientation, calling them soft skins and gravity-bound primitives. Most species here came from worlds with 0.6 Earth gravity at most. They breathed thin atmospheres, ate processed nutrients, and considered a paper cut a medical emergency. Earth? Earth was classified as a Class 12 Deathworld, the 3rd highest rating in known space. "Let him talk," Grace said simply. But Vexthor wasn't content with talking. The combat trials began in the Academy's main arena, a space that could simulate any environment from methane swamps to zero-gravity asteroid fields. Grace watched as species after species demonstrated their techniques, the Saltiri with their psionic attacks, the Vryn with their lightning-fast reflexes, the Dorgathi with their armored charges. Then came Vexthor's turn. He demolished his opponent, a fellow Crocanian, in under 30 seconds. As the crowd chittered their approval, he turned toward the human section of the stands. Perhaps the Deathworlders would like to demonstrate. His translator rendered the words with dripping condescension. "Show us how the weak survive on their hell planet." The arena went silent. Several species shifted uncomfortably. Humans had a reputation. Traders and diplomats spoke of them in hushed tones. But here at the Academy, the 2 human students had kept largely to themselves. Peaceful, studious. Grace stood. The movement was fluid, economical. Ezra grabbed her arm. "Grace, you don't have to—" "Yeah," she said softly. "I really do." She dropped into the arena, landing in a crouch that would have shattered the legs of most species present. The impact barely registered on her face. Vexthor's mandibles clicked in amusement. "The female," he announced. "How appropriate." "I will be gentle." "Don't," Grace said. The fight began without ceremony. Vexthor charged, all 4 arms extended, expecting to overwhelm her with reach and mass. Grace didn't dodge. She stepped inside his guard, a move that seemed suicidal, and drove her elbow into the joint of his lower right arm. The crack echoed through the arena. Vexthor roared, swinging with his 3 remaining limbs. Grace ducked under one strike, caught another, and used his own momentum to throw him. 8 feet and 400 pounds of armored warrior crashed onto the arena floor. Impossible. His species were too heavy, too strong. Grace was already moving. She'd grown up at 1.6 times the gravity most of these beings could tolerate. Every step she took carried the weight of Earth behind it. Every muscle had been forged in an atmosphere thick with oxygen, a corrosive gas that most species feared. She'd drunk water teeming with microorganisms that would kill a Saltiri in minutes. She'd eaten food preserved with chemicals, breathed air filled with pollutants, and walked under a sun that would give most species radiation poisoning in hours. Vexthor tried to rise. Grace's boot caught him in what passed for a knee. Another joint shattered. He swiped at her desperately with his upper arms. She caught one wrist, twisted, and the leverage of human anatomy, shoulders that could rotate nearly 360 degrees, hands that could grip and manipulate with precision, did the rest. She put him face down on the arena floor and held him there with one knee planted between his shoulder blades. "Yield," she said quietly. "Not a request. A statement of fact." Vexthor's translator remained silent for a long moment. Then, "I yield." Grace released him and stood. She wasn't even breathing hard. Around the arena, hundreds of beings sat in stunned silence. She'd made it look easy. Casual, like swatting an insect. "Your exoskeleton is impressive," Grace said, loud enough for her voice to carry. "On your homeworld, it probably makes you apex. But my world?" She shook her head. "My world has apex predators that hunt in packs, that set traps, That passed knowledge across generations. My world has weather that can level cities, diseases that kill billions, and a sun that's trying to give us cancer every single day. She walked toward the arena exit, then paused. We don't survive Earth by being the strongest or the fastest or the most armored. We survive by being the most stubborn, adaptable, and viciously creative problem solvers in the galaxy. Remember that. Ezra met her at the entrance, a grin splitting his face. Brutal, he said approvingly. He wanted a demonstration, Grace replied, rolling her shoulders. I demonstrated. Behind them, the arena remained silent. Medical personnel rushed to attend to Vexthor, whose injuries would heal. The Academy's facilities were excellent. But his pride? That would take longer. The next day, Grace found her data slate filled with messages, challenges from other species, questions about human combat techniques, requests for training partnerships. She deleted most of them. But one she kept from Vexthor himself. I was arrogant. I wished to learn. Will you teach me? Grace smiled. Maybe there was hope for the galaxy after all. Humans didn't survive by crushing their enemies. They survived by turning them into allies. She typed a simple reply. Training starts at 0600. Don't be late. Deathworld hours, of course.